Kalaivani and Dr. Lugaspati, Dr. Chandra Kumar, Dr. Tennarsu, their faculty and beloved participants. 2 days ago, somehow Dr. Tennarsu found out my address. When I moved out from Adaya, I didn't tell anybody. I moved to a retirement home. Okay. If you ask me what's the need to go to retirement at this stage, okay. Anyhow, I thought I'll move. Somehow he got my address and phoned me. I was very surprised. He said, on Sunday, we are going to have a valediction address, sir. Can you come? Then I thought, okay, I had been under house arrest for the last 2 years. I totally lost touch with what's happening with the Prof. Foundation, even though I get all the WhatsApp notes. It's flooded. Every 1 hour or 2 hours I get some notes about what's happening here. So I said, I will be happy to come there and see the proceedings and participate, but I will not give any speech. And he said, no problem, sir, you please come and sit there. So I thought I was going to come and sit. Now he is asking me to share, say something about this. So let me say that it's a great honor for me to be here to participate in this valediction address. Okay, it certainly gives me immense pleasure to see all these young faces here, beaming with hope and confidence. Okay, thank you. And after undergoing all this training, okay. But for the sake of those students and faculty who may not be knowing the genesis of this foundation, okay, I thought perhaps I will share with you how this foundation started. Okay, about 12 years ago, when I gave a lecture at Orchid Pharma, after the seminar is over, we are just coming out, taking coffee. Dr. Chandra Kumar came to me and asked me, sir, we would like to do something for our professor, beloved Professor Balasubramanian, whom I know very well. He was a very close friend of mine. He said, we have to do something to honor him. I said, don't start any annual speech and so on. Today, what we need is a lot of students who can pass CSR exam from Tamil Nadu, who can take the mantle and continue the research. And that's what we should do. And this should be done as a noble service, not on a commercial basis. And it's a challenge. Okay? So we'll see whether we can take up this kind of an ambitious project. And he said, yes, sir, we'll do it. But I thought that after a few days he may forget or I may forget. But the stubbornness with which he followed it, it's amazing. Immediately after a week or so he called me and said, so what should we can do? I said, initially, do not worry about this. You have a lot of faculty friends in Trichy, Madurai, Kamra. I will bring faculty from IIT Madras who will do these lectures without any remuneration. I will try to go and request some colleges whether they can accommodate. Okay? And I am surprised. Within a few weeks, this took off. And took off in a magnificent way. Okay? That's the important point. And the feedback from the students was also good. So I told him, okay, now that there is a good feedback, now that a lot of students have interest, we should see that it teaches as many students in Tamil Nadu as possible. Okay. To conduct exams at various places, to select and so on, it costs a lot of money and time. More than money is the time, because everybody is preoccupied with their own profession. Who will spare? But so happened that students are all so much attached, so much thing for their teacher, they did not mind sparing that time. All of us came together and continued this Research Foundation seminars and so on. And I'm surprised today, what started in a very humble way with 60 students or so, it has reached about 3,000 or so, okay, or more perhaps. Phenomenal. Okay? And perhaps it's also going to overseas. Is it going to overseas now? Like, Arab countries or other places? There's so much demand now. I'm extremely happy that every one of the people who got involved in this has taken so seriously. Of course, that alone would not have been possible to come to this level. But for institutions like Wales University to share, in these efforts, and give all the facilities to conduct this as a joint sponsoring and so on. And then Dr. Ponraj, who has been guiding us from the day one in this venture, okay? But for people like him, I don't think we would have got this much of growth. So I'm extremely happy to see that the Research Foundation is growing stronger and stronger day by day, okay? I only wish I am a lot more younger to come and give also lectures, but unfortunately, I don't think I'll be in a position to give lectures for the students now, okay? But a lot of people have offered to continue this service, and this should continue, in my opinion. And if possible, okay, I have been telling this to Dr. Chandrakumar Tennarsu, but it hasn't taken still the route to create a corpus fund, okay, so that we don't have to depend upon people to contribute or spare the honorarium or whatever it is, okay. If we have a good corpus fund, so we can support this in a bigger way. I asked him to send announcements and so on. I don't know what stage it is, okay. And if it can be started, okay, we should not depend upon any government agency. We should not go at every time to a private agency for running this thing. We should stand on our own legs. And it's possible, this is what I'm saying, it's possible. But the effort has to be started now, okay. I will be happy to help in a big way. If you can start this thing, we can create a good fund so that the interest from that can be used without any problem, when this thing can go in a very big way and reach a lot more students in Tamil Nadu and other places. Before I conclude, I also would like to touch one or two points. Dr. Ponraj has been saying about investment from the government and funding from the private sector, and also the vision and the dream. Okay, Dr. Prof has also been saying that you should be focused and so on. See, even if you have a lot of money, most institutions only build computers and building mosaic clothing and things like that. But the brain, the ideas, see, how do you develop? Money will not just bring ideas, okay? That's where the problem with our system. I have been in the teaching line and research line for the last 50 years. In MSc and BSc, you are being taught to develop analytical skills, problem solving. But the creative talents, okay, the creative abilities, in your MSc and BSc, you don't have the chance at all, okay? And you come to PhD, that's where you are supposed to learn to think new, okay? Think out of the box and develop your creative abilities. Unfortunately, in the Indian system, let me be honest with you, I am also being a part of this thing, okay? We produce more leaders, more workers, not leaders. Our PhD is mostly workers and assistants. We don't really produce students who can think. There's no opportunity for them to think. A student joins me for a PhD program, I tell you, okay? We don't even tell him, do you have any ideas? Would you like to start something new? We say, the last student who left me has done this, so you can do this. Next day, after 1 or 2 weeks, he starts, okay? Just doing this, adding one more, incremental knowledge. But there's no creative thing, no new thinking there. And we produce a paper, then student leaves, another student joins. So there's still some more to be completed. So you take this now. So he does it. And he joins as faculty. He just continues this. We go for postdoc. We come back, we again continue this. See, this Indian system, I see it very honestly, there's no scope for really creative development. We produce papers, but does not mean anything at all. And if you look at the American system, the Indian system, in America, PhD, there's a coursework, very tough coursework. In India, the course was only on name, even including Wales University, Balasubramanian University, IIT, we all have namesake coursework. But there is no way to compare the coursework of PhD student in America. I had seen this, okay? I had seen the coursework in PhDs in America, Germany, and India. It's mostly farce, to be very, very frank. Okay? We simply say you write something and then you pass. Okay? This is one thing. And then, after passing the coursework, two publications you have to produce. 2 numbers. It's only number. 2 numbers you produce PhD. Okay? That's eligible. Students get the 2 numbers, no problem. Okay? And then he publishes, it is fine. Is there a scope to test his creativity? Can he write one research project on his own? I tried to introduce this in IIT Madras on an unofficial scale in my organic chemistry department. My students are not able to write even one project. Okay? Whereas American system is not like that. Before you complete a PhD, you have to submit a research proposal as if you are doing for a funding agency. That should not be related to your PhD work. It should not be related to the work going on in your university. It should be new. So, unless the student does it correctly, and he has to defend it before a committee where his guide is not there to support or help. So it will come back. If the student does not do a good job of defense of the project, he will have to come back. And only one chance given. Even there he fails. He leaves PhD degree, gets MS degree. Do we have such a system? Only such systems can create leaders. Otherwise it will create only workers. So when you said about a lot of money, you can give money, but where are the ideas? See, you have to think and think afresh. So vision is one, dream is one. You have to equip yourself to reach that. For that you have to develop leadership qualities. If you are going to pursue what your teacher has done earlier and so on, you can never do anything. You have to take something new. Then I asked a lot of my colleagues, hey, why don't you start something new? Sir, for my promotion they want 2 papers. You look here, my promotion they want 2 papers. And if I start taking something new, I'm not too sure that I will come out with 2 papers in 2 years or 3 years. Then I will not get a promotion. Okay. Then I asked, okay, fine. Afterwards, why don't you think new? Sir, I want to apply for Bhatnagar Award. I need to at least have 25 papers or 30 papers. Again, the story goes. You become professor, why don't you do something new? No, sir, now it's retirement. In this surroundings, in this atmosphere, you don't expect big to come out. Even money is poor. We can pour money, government can pour money on you, industries can pour money on you. But what is lacking is creativity. We need leaders who can think out of the box. Okay? And that's where some problem is there. The academic people have absolutely no knowledge about the real life, real chemistry in industry and in society. Okay? Most of us publications we look into, okay, it has no relevance directly with any society problems. Any society problems, okay? We produce a lot of graphs, okay, curves and so on. But are you able to connect this anywhere in your own area to the society, to the problem afflicting the society, the problem that's needed to solve, okay? Absolutely not. We are utopian. Our academicians have no knowledge about how the industry works. They don't visit the industry, be it chemical industry or electronic industry or any industry in their area. Have you seen any faculty going and seeing what's happening actually in a chemical manufacturing plant? So when he trains a student, his training is absolutely useless unless the student goes to a job in industry and learns it on his own. I was like this till 1990. I produced a lot of papers, produced PhDs and so on. Only when Sun Pharma gave me a project, okay, that happened by fluke. My student joined Sun Pharma, okay, after postdoc, and then he told Dilip Singhavi, the managing director, the chairman, sir, why don't you give one project to IIT Madras? So they gave me a project, okay, 2 years, you make the compound. It's a sertraline, antidepressant, $1 billion drug. Patent is out, but they want to produce it. So I said, okay, I made a compound. I said, I have made the compound 2 years. Then they came there, I showed them NMR, IR, they said, fine, but they said, that's useless. You have not delivered what we wanted. I said, what did you want? You wanted me to produce a compound, I produced. Sir, have you taken impurity profile? Have you taken trace matter analysis? Okay. All kinds of questions. Then they came. About which I was totally unaware. So when you go for a drug research, you want to make a drug, produce a drug. Discovery is one, manufacturing a drug one. You want to manufacture a drug, it has to meet the stringent requirements of pharmacopoeia. US pharmacopoeia, Indian pharmacopoeia and so on. About which we are organic chemists. We never knew anything at all. Okay. Then trace how much of palladium is there, how much of zinc is there. We never bother when we write a publication on organic chemistry. We get 30% yield, we write a paper for 30%. We never worry about 70%, what happened? Where is the material balance? We never worry about it. Okay? There's 1% impurity, your NMR may not show that. So you submit, you get a publication. So the academic world is somewhat totally detached from the real world. Okay? That's why we are not able to also produce good leaders. See, when you produce a PhD, there's nothing more than that. Okay? That's the highest degree. So that is a leadership degree. Unfortunately, our universities are not geared to produce such leaders. Unless we produce such leaders, any amount of money poured by the government or the private industry will not make wonders here. So I want to advise all of you, that you go for PhD, or even otherwise, you don't have to be a PhD to think. For doing research, for creativity, for developing or innovation, you don't require PhD. There are a lot of people who have contributed a lot without PhD. PhD is required only for academic. Okay? If you want to get a faculty and things like that. But whoever wants to go for research, you should try to think something new. Okay? You should not, Archamaya Ripan Saramanga, Tamil. And never answer to put it. People be able to go about it. You should try to think new, out of the box. You should see what is the scope to do something new. When you try to do research, see whether it can be connected with any problem in any way to your work. I'll tell you one example now. IIT Madras. Okay? All of you know that in water, in Odisha or in North India, in many places, there's a fluoride, there's arsenic. Okay? The water is not potable. And if you drink, you get fluorosis, you get all kinds of disease. There are percent small amount. But how to purify that water so that it can be used for potable water for drinking. And my colleague Pradeep, okay, in the IIT chemistry department, he has used nanoparticle. We talk a lot about nanoparticles and so on. He has used some nanoparticle and he has come up with a simple method of removing these toxic materials, arsenic and fluoride. Now, the industries are putting plants throughout the country. It's being used now to produce good water from all this arsenic or fluoride contaminated water. This is an application. Nanoparticle, all of you know, okay? We talk about a lot of things about nanoparticle. See the application part of it. He was able to use it to remove selectively arsenic and fluorine. And it's not all costly. It's very cheap, okay? And environmentally friendly. So what I'm trying to again impress upon you is, in whatever area you do, whatever problem you will take, okay, please see also whether you can connect it to some problem related to the industry. And possible, you should also interact with the visit industries, not simply sit in the classroom and see. You should on your own try to see whether you can go to, say for example, Dr. Sendilkumar is here, you can go and request him to see your plant, see actually what is it. In the laboratory, you see a small flask, round water flask, small one. But you go to a plant, you'll be totally, be wondering, where is the plant, where is the flask? There's nothing a flask there, all big reactors. So you should open your eyes, go there and see, like any area that you work, try to see whether you can go to industry, connected industry, get some idea about what's happening there, and try to see whether you can think of a problem which can solve their problems, and so on. Just conclude, before I conclude, I'll tell you one thing. 2 days back, in the community where I'm living, there's a person, he's a PhD, MS Tech, MTech from IIT Kanpur, PhD from Oxford, MBA from Cambridge, 53 years old, Dr. Sampath. He is working for a German company called Granges. They are all world dealers in aluminum pipes, aluminum materials. He put a small problem to me. Lithium battery is getting very hot in our climate. Well, our ambient temperature is very high. Lithium batteries get heated up. They cannot be used as such, and their longevity is low, and a lot of hazards happen. How to remove the heat? When it's put the EV in the motors and the scooters and so on, as you drive, it gets heated up. And if you don't look at it, bring down the temperature, it may lead to accidents, fire accidents, explosions and so on. So it's a burning problem. Okay, it's a burning problem. In India, nobody's looking at it. Okay, they are still running EV with that kind of a thing. So he asked me, I said, I am an organic chemist. I really cannot immediately think anything about this. I will take you to some of my colleagues in IIT Madras, engineers in the electrical, heat transfer, heat designs, and then electrochemistry and so on. Let us see whether they come to a solution. See, this is where I am telling you, a lot of people are working lithium batteries, including this university, if I am not mistaken. Okay, look here. But who knows about this problem? How much of heat is generated? You put 4 batteries. Okay, how much of heat is generated? If you are going 4 batteries in circuit and run for 1 hour, what can be the temperature that will go up? And how to remove this heat without too much of. See, you are working on a small scooter or car. You cannot say, sir, put a big condenser or a big, circulate this, circulate solvent and so on. This is where you have to think practical. Real chemistry in industry or chemistry or any problem in industry is against a lot of constraints and odds. You have to think of a solution which will be cost effective, which will be environmentally benign and which will also get accommodated in the system that you are operating. And this I learned now, okay, that there are problems like this in every area, not only in batteries. In chemistry also there are a lot of problems which I am facing now, since I am advisor for 2 or 3 companies in Madras. Okay, I know how many problems are there. It may not have the glamour of a big research, but finally, when it has to reach a society, it has to have a practical solution. And for all this, you have to develop leadership qualities. So don't think that just getting a PhD, you will be doing wonders. During PhD, you should not end up as a worker. You should end up as a leader. With this, I wish all of you all the very best. Thank you.